Any project begins with stakeholders agreeing to apply resources to achieve something that has shown to have a satisfactory return on investment. Stakeholders will not agree to support a project that is not well defined. So before any project starts, there will be a roadmap tied to a release schedule. The more complex the project, the more planning is required before it starts. Releases with set dates and minimum functionality required in each release should be defined before the project begins. However, the iterative nature of Scrum allows for discovery and adaptation to changing requirements, so there should be room in the release roadmap to add or remove functionality as priorities change. In these cases, the Scrum project ends when the milestones are met, the roadmap release schedule finishes, the project runs out of money, or a specified deadline arrives, and the project increment has an acceptable defect level. However, the Scrum project could be terminated at any point by the stakeholders or the product owner. The product owner owns the product backlog and knows the value each item will add to the end product. Through prioritizing the product backlog, the product owner determines what features will be delivered in each sprint. Though customers can request a feature be added to the product backlog, it does not mean it has sufficient value or high enough priority to make it into a sprint. The product owner should continually evaluate the return on investment of the items remaining in the product backlog. Product owners, stakeholders, or customers can negotiate to end the Scrum project if they feel the return on investment for the remaining product backlog items is too low to continue. At the end of any sprint, the product increment will contain the highest value features and be potentially shippable software, complete with documentation. Since each sprint always works on the highest priority task from the product backlog, if a decision to release is made at the end of a particular sprint, the stakeholders know their most important features are part of that product increment, which will be deployed as a product. Since the product increment is potentially shippable software, the release is less traumatic than in other methodologies, where the software is not fully integrated, tested, or documented till the end of the project. However, there are still items that must be worked to get a product increment ready to be released as a working product. These are completed in a release iteration, or release sprint, which is used to prepare the product increment for deployment. Activities that occur in the release sprint include finalizing the documentation that is in a state of constant flux during the sprints, such as the architecture and design documents and user manuals showing screenshots. If multiple Scrum teams are working on different aspects of the same project, system integration and testing must be completed. On large international projects, the screen could be internationalized for different locales and the user documentation translated into different languages. Final defects are resolved, and a final acceptance review is held with the stakeholders. Physical shippable items like the installation media, manuals, and packaging need to be finalized and produced. If the release is an upgrade, the field may need to upgrade hardware or software applications, or migrate to a new database schema. And end users and support workers need to be trained on the product's new functionality. There may be several release iterations to accommodate different international markets, allow time to train a large number of users, or to accommodate the different schedules of different stakeholders. Once the final release is shipped and the Scrum project is over, it is often better to move new work to the established team rather than moving team members to new work. This is because it takes time for the team to gel and learn to work together efficiently. Teams that are already self-organizing and have developed team unity are one of the major productivity benefits of Scrum. These teams should be kept together to work on the next project whenever feasible.